Welcome, Autism. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers, caretakers, providers. Thank you all so much for joining me. This will be an extensive live today pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. We're now at the 2.5 mark of his disappearance. I won't reveal a days by numbers because I don't have the exact date that the child went missing, so it wouldn't be appropriate to say he's missing 78 days, 77 days, because we don't know the exact date that the child went missing. So I'm not going to ever give a number pertaining to his disappearance. The movie of the week is Gossip to Die For, now playing on Tubi, free for your enjoyment. Gossip to Die For, a very good movie. Midway through, Queen had a hunch who the killer was. Very interesting movie. Please check it out. It's a movie allegedly about New York shenanigans, entertainment business. But I kept saying to myself, this movie looks like it's filmed in London. Looks like it's filmed in England. And I believe it was. They did their best to try to cover up car tags and things, but Queen's good with location. Even if I've never been somewhere, I have an idea where a movie's filmed. Don't ask. It's OCD. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Once again, extensive live. I'll be doing lives most of the day, so feel free to check in because I want to bring you some new commentary for a new segment on this network called Your Crazy America. This is where I bring you content of outrageous behavior by our crazy citizens. Bad behavior from everyone. Black, white, tall, short, fat, police officers, politicians, co-workers, restaurant staff. Your Crazy America. Stay tuned. Let's go to AB. Well, before I go to AB, let me do something else because the content is going to be a bit winded today. So I'm going to start with the autism spectrum first because that's going to take up most of my time reading that information. That's why I have the screen black today. Thank you for joining me. All right. What is autism? Is this child high functioning? High functioning is not clarified by the CDC or medical providers. It is a word that citizens have given autism on the spectrum. So let me repeat that. It is not clarified medically. High functioning. Also, Mr. Chauvin, the ex-police officer from Minneapolis that was accused of murdering George Floyd, wants to represent himself in his fraud case, and he wants to take back his guilty plea in that case. Well, as they say, you're a fool if you want to represent yourself in court. What does it say? A fool for a client? And indeed he is. Signs and symptoms, autism spectrum disorder, ASD, NCB, DDD, CDC is the source. Thank you for joining me. This is a bit winded. I'll try to break it up as best I can. For those who don't know about autism, which I don't know much about it, but I'm discussing it because allegedly the boy has autism. But how severe was the autism? Because now someone has talked to some students, allegedly a woman who has a YouTube channel has spoken with some girls while she's out looking for Sebastian, and they said he was okay. He took regular courses. So now you have to ask yourself, well, how severe was the autism? Could he read? Could he write? Obviously, he's going to school. Was he good with directions? Could he give you directions going home? Or the mother or somebody gave us a little bit of information about that, about him, knowing the distance between here and there, whatever. But if he took regular courses such as science, history, math, don't know which ones, Maybe some of us have assumed the worst of the kid because I didn't know if he was verbal, nonverbal, because I really haven't dwelled on that. So we're going to go into the belly of the beast. How severe or less is his autism? We'll try to use present tense. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmental disability caused by differences in the brain. People with ASD often have problems with social communication and interaction, restricted or repetitive behaviors or interests. People with ASD may also have different ways of learning, moving, paying attention. It's important to note that some people without ASD might also have some of these symptoms, but for people with ASD, these characteristics can make life very challenging. Social communication and interaction skills. Here are the examples. Avoids or does not keep eye contact. Does not respond to name by 9 months of age. Does not show facial expressions like happy, sad, angry, surprised by 9 months of age. Does not play simple interactive games like pat a cake by 12 months of age. Uses few or no gestures by 12 months of age. For example, does not wave goodbye. Does not share interest with others by 15 months of age. For example, shows you an object that they like. Does not point to show you something interesting by 18 months of age. Does not notice when others are hurt or upset by 24 months of age. Does not notice other children join them in play by 36 months. Does not pretend to be something else like a teacher, superhero during play by 48 months. Does not sing, dance, act for you by 60 months. Restricted, repetitive behaviors or interests. Lines up toys or other objects and gets upset when order is changed. Repeats words or phrases over and over called echolalia or echolalia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct. Plays with toys the same way every time. It's focused on parts of objects, for example, wheels. Gets upset by minor changes. Has excessive interests. Must follow certain rules. Flaps hands, rocks body, or spins in circles. Has unusual reactions to the way things sound, smell, taste, look, or feel. Other characteristics. Delayed language skills. Delayed movement. Delayed cognitive learning skills. Hyperactive, impulsive, and or inattentive behavior. Epilepsy, seizure disorder. Unusual eating and sleeping habits. Gastrointestinal issues, for example, constipation. Unusual mood, emotional reactions. Anxiety, stress, excessive worry. Lack of fear or more fear than expected. Very interesting. That's just a synopsis, signs of autism, and know that all signs are not the same. Let's see what they have to say about ASD in teenagers and adults. Thank you for joining me. CDC is the source. A greater number of children identified with ASD has led to a growing interest in the transition to adolescence and adulthood for most young people, including those with ASD. Adolescence and young adulthood are filled with new challenges, responsibilities, and opportunities. However, research suggests fewer young people with ASD have the same opportunities as their peers without ASD. And before I read this commentary, could this young boy go off to trade school, college, also live on his own? Because something that strikes me interesting is the fact that it was mentioned that he was with his father Christmas time when Faith came from New Mexico to be with the Proudfoots. So that means he had to be left alone or had a babysitter while Seth went to work. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the details. Seth did not work 24 hours a day. So when he had the boy child, he obviously still had to hold down a job. So who kept Sebastian? Or did he trust him to stay alone? And if he was able to stay alone, did the Proudfoots ever leave him alone in their house while they went off to dinner or work? Because you got to remember, school is out. We have fall break, spring break, summer break, and all these people work. Seth worked, Katie worked, Chris worked. That's something nobody has mentioned that I have heard on their networks. This is why I say there's always something you miss in the story that's sitting right in front of you. Who kept the child when he was on break? School wasn't in session. Did they leave Sebastian Rogers alone in the house? Was he able to stay on his own as a preteen? High rates of unemployment or underemployment. Low participation in education beyond high school. Majority continue to live with family members and relatives, and I have touched on this before. This boy is almost grown. Could he work a job? Number one. Would he be able to go out and sustain himself in school and also live on his own? Fill out a job application, go online, fill out information, follow prompts on the internet. Nobody's talking about this. Talking about everything else but obvious stuff. Could the child function as an adult on his own? Could he do what the average teenager could do? Would he even be able to work an app? Go online, fill out an application, fill out a profile, stay woke. And yes, would someone have to take care of him after the age of 18 if he could not sustain himself as an adult? I've asked this question. Limited opportunity for community or social activities, nearly 40%. Spend little or no time with friends. We also learned that about the child. When Katie did her first interview, she talked about him not interacting with anyone except for the children at the school. So that means he didn't have any outside opportunities or engagements with school activities, church, neighborhood functions, doing things that normal preteen and teenagers do. In addition, individuals with ASD may experience changes in their ASD symptoms, behaviors, and co-occurring health conditions during adolescence and young adulthood. These changes can affect their ability to function and participate in the community. Did he have health problems? Nobody ever talks about that. Okay. So know that there is help for those with ASD. Okay. It's called Autism and Developmental Disabilities Monitoring, ADDM Network. Includes support for 5 sites to follow up on 6-year-olds who have been identified with ASD by the age of 8. This is a new activity for the ADDM network and will provide valuable information on transition planning and special education services and potential service need after school. So that they also haven't involved in anything involving autism, the Proudfoots. Once again, CDC study to explore early developmental SEED, it's called SEED, S-E-E-D, began identifying children with ASD in the mid-2000s, and these children are now beginning to transition from adolescence to adulthood. Through SEED Teen, CDC is tracking the changes that occurred during this transition period to learn about factors that may promote more successful transitions and better outcomes in young adults with ASD. Now, I do believe we heard Kate saying the boy was getting therapy. Well, how often was he getting therapy? How long was he getting therapy? What actual age he started getting therapy from the alleged child abuse out in California? Did he like it? Was he receptive? What was the feedback from the psychologists, psychiatrists? How did he get along in school? Was he teased in school? The Queen is going to take you to the belly of the beast on content that nobody discusses on YouTube. That's why I'm Queen. I go into places nobody likes to venture. I try to stay out the gossip rumor mill because it gets a little daunting. It's very daunting. But I'm also going to touch on the latest he said and the she said and who's throwing daggers at whom. It's out of control at this moment, this case. And does this case also remind you of Summer Wells? Please check the post on my community page because I just put up some questions pertaining to Summer Wells. Candace Bly has decided to give her rendering of this case. We're going to play her audio as well during this live stream. Thank you so much for your time. Bringing you information pertaining to autism. Know that all children, people, adults are not the same and do not have the same characteristics who have been diagnosed with autism. I want to get off that. We're going to run an AB because I got a lot to talk about and read you some Facebook posts from Sebastian's Facebook page. Find Sebastian Rogers. We're going to listen to content from Mr. Tony Mathis, the PR person for Seth Rogers in this case. We're going to dive into the he said, she said from the grandmother, Seth's mother, We're going to talk about all the he said, she said from Mr. Christopher Proudfoot. Why is he putting such crazy nonsense out here pertaining to Katie and being bipolar? And as I told most of you, I don't go looking for their content because, as I said before, once I see that you are a liar, I have no reason to play on the jungle gym. I'm a little too big for that. I don't swing on the jungle gym. So I want to bring you things from Mr. AB's channel because he stays in tune with the shenanigans of YouTube. Let's get down to business, everybody. This is one of the latest content coming from Mr. AB, our Mr. Canadian Bacon, served crisp. Yes, indeed.
And just feeling.
1 second. I don't know why this content always jumps over to where I last was, but anyway, that's YouTube.
May 12th, 2024, 5:37 p.m. I've got my lawn cut, all of my laundry done, dinner served, cooked.
Go, boy.
I just opened up my computer and I saw a post from Facebook. I don't even hang on Facebook except for when Robin Rogers is posting. She says, you people are out.
Wait 1 second. Robin. I must say this before I get into AB's content. This is the reason why I put that title up there, the Robins of it all. Thank you, AB. What are the odds that we had a Robin in the Summer Wells case and now we have a Rockin' Robin in the Sebastian Rogers case? Checkmate. Ask yourself how in the world you could have two cases on the opposite side of Tennessee, both about missing children, both of Caucasian children, both got a lot of he said and she said and shenanigans and meddling ass Karens and Kens, and also a damn Robin. I'm dead. Rockin' Robin. We had a Robin who was a church teacher, whatever they call it, day teacher, Saturday day teacher, Summer Wells Saturday day teacher, and now we're way over here in West Tennessee with a grandma named Robin who has been giving Facebook the business. Well, grandma, are you going to go on YouTube? Might as well. Everybody else is up here. All right, everybody, Mr. AB.
Control. No one is trying to silence me. You have no idea how many hours I've searched, how many phone calls I've made, how many trips we have made to Tennessee. I'm asking that you respect our family and stop the chaos. I did not say stop searching or anything like that. Reread my post. And no, Chris does not have something on Seth. That is absurd. Can you not be supportive without all the drama and chaos? This old lady's getting on my last nerve. I don't know about you guys.
I don't pay attention to let it get on my nerves.
So, zip down here. Robin Rogers. And he's right there.
Nonsense.
Listen, Chris has everything on Seth. I don't know what universe you live in, but you're going to be in for a wild ride, Robin Rogers, with all of the information that's coming out about this. You are in a delusional state about your own state of affairs within your family. You don't want anybody asking questions that is pertinent to finding your son. You can't even recognize the lies that are afoot in your own. Well, some days you do then. Some days you don't. Maybe you need to backtrack and take exit gauge left out of the spotlight. This Ted Tucker made a comment, was talked about a JLR investigates. She came online and made a comment that she knew her grandson was being abused and chose not to do anything and let it continue, correct? Correct. I have a feeling she's feeling some guilt now for not saying anything. Honestly, all parents and grandparents feel Sebastian. It is so heartbreaking, right? Also, isn't Robin a nurse practitioner? It's my understanding that they have an oath to report these types of cases. It may just be patient cases, but still, if it's her biological grandson, absolutely. If he ran away, no wonder he did. I pray Sebastian is found alive and well. and someone is providing for him, I doubt it. Don't. But after almost 3 months of being gone, my guess, in my opinion, Katie, Chris, and Mama Socks are involved in Sebastian's disappearance. Interesting. Linda Ferguson said Robin is okay with not reporting SA abuse. Or SA. Her son was 28 while Katie was barely 18 and pregnant with Sebastian. Seth even mentioned it wasn't the first pregnancy he and Katie had. He met her when she was 14 and she was 22. Well, we can see how.
Let's interrupt there. I got so many questions. Lord have mercy. Seth, why are you telling people you met her at 14? So what are you trying to say? You met her, what, at the truck stop? You met her at the Piggly Wiggly? You met her at, what, a school function, a baseball game, football game? You're friends with her family. Your family knows her family. You have a brother or sister that was younger, that was her age. Make it make sense, because this doesn't look good. So this is why you're always supposed to clarify yourself so people don't insinuate things. Now people are insinuating. So are you going to admit to us that you had sexual relations with a child? So then one would say if you did have sexual relations with a then Katie, 14, 13, somebody wants to argue about her age, I don't give a fuck. So please, do the queen a favor. Do not argue with me about how old she was. You can count from 9 to 10. Difference in age. The point is, why tell it? I've been knowing her since she was 12, 13, 14. The point is, explain how you knew her. Because people, their minds run wild, wicked, Mr. Rogers. And when you come to this platform, you have to be very careful what you say, because people will misinterpret things. So, are people misinterpreting you saying you met her at 14, 13, whatever the fucking age is? So, how did you meet her? What were the circumstances? Did you date her? Most states say statutory rape if you've had any type of sexual contact, whether she consented or not, and a 14-year-old doesn't have any business consenting to sex. Let's just keep it real. Doesn't matter if they're 16, 17, you still shouldn't be having sex. Mind's not equipped for sex. Your mind's not equipped for sex at 18. How about that? So, sir, did you have sexual relations with a minor child by the name of Katie Proudfoot? Katie Proudfoot, did you have sexual relations with Mr. Seth Robbins as a minor child? The fact that you would go on to tell people that you had pregnancies with this woman, it wasn't the first pregnancy he and Katie had. He met her when she was 14 and he was 22. I'm not here to argue the ages because different people are arguing ages. I don't do that shit. So I tell you right now, you don't want to get on my bad side. Do not argue with me about the fucking number, because it's irrelevant. A child is a child. So what's the truth? What were the circumstances that he met her at a young age, if true? Who was doing all this talking? Because as I said, I don't follow these people on other networks because I don't have that kind of time. So Seth, are you telling people you met her at 14? Once again, what were the circumstances?
Oh, many personalities that Grandma Rogers has in this situation. She's all over the place. Seth is just the golden child in all this. Seth had every opportunity to not drop him back off. Oh, I'm working. Like, what sort of work does he need to do? Okay, he just is manipulating him. No, it's Seth not being the father that Sebastian requires. And the other person that Sebastian has to look up to, because Katie keeps programming him to, is abusing him. Mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, Henderson, Tennessee. This River Hall, posted April 30th. Okay, this is my last post for this evening, but I remember in the very beginning when Robin, Seth's mother, said that she had stuff on Chris Proudfoot and said that she was going to expose him. And then that went away, and we haven't talked about that. If it was my grandson and he was missing would tell everything I would, put it out on the table for my grandchild, but she never said anything after that.
So what did the grandma have on Christopher Proudfoot? And these people are saying you're not discussing it now, so what's the point in mentioning it in the first place? Now you're doing what Christopher has complained about the PI doing. Opening up Pandora's box, but don't give the goods. Insinuation. Is that not right, Mr. Proudfoot? Isn't that what you've been raising hell about lately? When you did that phone call that got leaked? Now, who leaked that phone call? Boy, that was nasty business. Some would say, hell yeah, it was nasty. He nasty, and the person that leaked it, they nasty too. They wanted to get the 411 out to show you the real Christopher Proudfoot. That's what that was about. What's that old saying? I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm going to show you who Mr. Proudfoot is. I'm going to leak this damn audio. And he already going off and cussing and fussing. And then you going to go leak the damn audio. So you can get on his bad side. Probably the woman who was talking to him. Because the one he's talking about, she would have access to the phone call, would she? I don't know. Because I don't know if the lady was talking to him on a business line, a landline, in the office talking, had a recorder. Who the hell knows? I know a lot of you all probably need to quit talking. How about that? Because a lot of people will start making up theories of who knows who and who's conspiring with who. And it's like, to me, there's a lot of dysfunction. But that's the point of the story. You don't know people. I told you this with the Summer Wells case when I got involved with somebody who was investigating the Summer Wells case and helping with Boy H and all of that. They were just as nutty as the people in the story. I've given you a brief synopsis of that during a live stream because you don't know people. And that's what you're having here. A bunch of busybodies wanting to help, saying they're helping, and then here comes the backstabbing. Don't you find this ironic? You have a whole kid missing. Many people believe the parents are involved, the Proudfoots. Now Seth is looking suspicious because of his behavior and things he's saying about Katie as a young girl. So you're starting to look at everybody's side-eye, and then here comes the donkeys and the penguins and the monkeys jumping in out the cage. And they look just as suspicious. You're questioning Tony Mathis. You're questioning the K-9 handler. You're questioning the PIs. You're questioning the person that uploaded the photograph. You're questioning the person in the photograph that says that she and her son. It goes on and on and on. Because you forgot one thing. Chaos breeds chaos. Checkmate. Everything's about everything else. What color shoes somebody had on? What somebody said on a live stream? What somebody said on Facebook? He said it, she said it, he said it, she said it. Well, if you all quit talking, nobody will have anything to talk about. If you act concerned, nobody have anything to talk about. Say, well, oh, naturally, they're going to assume things, people. That's just the nature of the beast. But it's an old saying, don't give folks nothing to talk about. So you can't get mad when you put the shit out there and then they start talking about it and start speculating. Now you got a problem. Please check out Queen's Shorts. Because there are a lot of people who don't have time to sit here and listen at these long-winded lies. So I have to give you 15 seconds synopsis of a case. And after this live stream, I will be uploading content pertaining to this case and also Sean Puffy Combs, Mr. Chauvin. Then I'll be back on live with Your Crazy America.
So talk about a big old hen with nothing to say. It's you who have nothing constructive to contribute to this case. Were you sitting up there on your throne dictating what people do up there, pretending to do something? Kind of like you pretended to look after Sebastian. Here's this maroon Robin Rogers. I had a long discussion with the special agent in charge of the TBI today. Yeah, you're going to have a few more there. I just want to clarify a few things and hopefully help stop some of this drama that, you started. I'm so sick to death of all the trauma vultures out there and conspiracy theorists. I want all of this to stop and for the focus to be on where it should be, finding Sebastian. Hey, Marin, where have you been? One, TBI's interviewed both CP and KP extensively. Big deal. This isn't you writing this. 2, they have been poly, they're passed. Yes, Katie took more than one poly and passed. Capitals. What is this, Tony Mathis? You and Tony Mathis, constructive project for the weekend? So much your first 2 are pretty ridiculous. 3, it does more harm than good to keep delving into everybody's background. Well, for who? For who? And how? What sort of damage is it doing? You can't think past the surface. You just don't want it to happen to you. And are hoping that your excuse bites, and it's not going to bite. Really explain to us exactly how it's affecting you. We've just explained to you how your ignorance affected Sebastian. We can see that. We're not asking for your approval. I understand the concern of whether Sebastian might be with his other maternal grandmother, but really, is all this necessary? Like, what are you, a valley girl? Not. Please, if you have credible tips, call them into law enforcement, or do like Grandma Rogers does and post them onto Facebook and use them as some sort of psychological leverage against Chris Proudfoot, pretending that you have something on people. Pretty sure you have all kinds of information. The fact that you're volunteering that information publicly tells us just how bright you really are not. Oh, are you just something special in Sebastian's life at this point in time there, Robert Rogers? You really dropped the ball on this one. A disgusting lot of you. I don't even want to read this disturbing. I'm going to let JLR read this. But here's the type of POS Robert Rogers really is. This is what she's all over social media doing. We can see you, Robin. Look at the type of person she is. Tracy Glover, shut your mouth. He was asked if he knew anything about the abuse that Chris was putting Sebastian through. He had tried multiple times to get Sebastian, but Katie manipulates people. Please, look at you trying to champion a white knight for something that you're never going to be able to. Katie manipulates people, please. If you can't say something constructive, shut your mouth. You mean constructive, IVE? I'm tired of all the negativity. It's just beginning. And
There's something wrong with Amy. Damn.
it is not constructive,
Curriculum, lady.
and it does not help bring Sebastian home. Why don't you quit with the BS rhetoric, Joker? Why don't you add something?
Ooh.
Nobody's looking for you to say anything. We're all very tired, and our tempers and our nerves are very short. Like I give a shit. If people cannot say things that add to finding Sebastian, they should just keep to themselves, including you. Including you. I will not tolerate you trying to make Seth look like a bad guy because he has been nothing but an excellent father to his son. BS he has. Bull. Kind of like you've been an excellent grandmother to Sebastian. Maybe in your mind. You're delusional. You're a disgrace. Robert Rogers, March 23rd, yet another lie exposed. CP has said on multiple interviews, like you exposed it? Bullshit. CP has said on multiple interviews that he has left the door open for me to contact them. I will admit that I left a very emotional message. Yeah, delete that one right away. Like you're even somebody he needs to deal with. Anybody needs to deal with. Where have you been all this time? They've been ignoring you for the rest of your pathetic lives. Now you're trying to be a force? I will admit that I left a very emotional message on 316. Think about this moron telling you all of this shit that you're doing wrong, but here she is just volunteering all kinds of stuff that really isn't anybody's business. And she's trying to tell you, as she's typing all of this, that it's none of your business. You are a few fries short of a Happy Meal there, Robert Rogers. Why don't you go back and get in and do some sewing or something?
Oh my God.
Yesterday I received the following from KP. Let me see here. Let me go back a little bit.
Now, AB, that's not nice. Now, that is just not nice. Now, tell the woman she needs to go knit. Woo! Y'all can't talk about Queen. Ooh, Satan is a liar. It's too early. Look, it's too early for popcorn and whiskey. Damn. Y'all got y'all some Canadian bacon today, baby. Oh, Jesus. AB. Who done got in his drawers? Got his drawers all twisted up yesterday. Damn.
I did tell her that if anything happened to my grandson, I would push for the death penalty.
Ooh.
Are you the DA? Yesterday, I received the following from KP. Robin, please do not contact us again.
Oh, wow.
Your messages have all been forwarded to law enforcement as well as this request for you to note it on their contact us. Forward whatever you like to KP. I am one angry grandmother, and you are not out looking for my grandson. I am not afraid of the proud family or the little man you were married to. This country is something called freedom of speech. Look it up.
Shut up.
You're just a little zipperhead. No, you practice what you preach.
Shut your mouth.
It all comes back to this little leak, doesn't it?
Wait a minute. Grandma done gave Katie the business, and Katie done told her, please don't contact us. Excuse me. Maybe Katie should be the PR person. For sad. She knows how to write a formal text message to Robin, but she don't know how to talk and go out here and search for her damn son. You can't make this stuff up. Lord have mercy. Would you please kindly stop messaging us? I have forwarded all information to law enforcement. She can send this text to Robin, but can't get out here and speak about her son. And she can whimper in the background on a lead audio call with Christopher Proudfoot and one of the PIs. Are you all hearing this? Please do not contact us again. I will call 911. Oh, that'd be the first time you pick up the phone and call 911. Shut up, Queen. 911, what is your emergency, please?
Yes, my ex-mother-in-law is stalking me, and she is standing outside my camper, and I want you to send an officer over here immediately.
I can't with these people.
What kind of bizarre world do you live in? You can stop all your speculating. Well, can we? Who are we talking about?
Hello, everybody.
Just this random enemy of yours in your mind? The early onslaught of Alzheimer's here? Dementia? I did not tell my son because my grandson asked me not to. I was the only person that Sebastian felt like he could say anything to. If I had broke his confidence, he would never have been able to speak to me again about everything and anything.
Oh, you know I'm getting ready to break it. You know I'm getting ready to give you the business now. What type of grandmother, human being, doesn't report abuse? I'll wait. Your grandchild tells you that he is being abused by whomever, and you don't think to tell your son. So let's ask that question. Robin, did you tell your son that your grandson was being abused, and by whom? What was his response? And why would you sit on this type of secret? We got all these crazy allegations and nonsense of who said what, and they won't show me CPS records, and they won't show me this. And Mr. Tony Mathis is going to be on tonight on, I believe, Pascal's show, or this crime and what's the name of this damn girl show? Chasing Crime, one of these damn TV programs, to talk about what exactly. You all are busy. I have never seen such craziness, which you know I'm lying, because Summer Wells, the West case, Camille McKinney, they're all the same, because they're street people raising kids. That's what you all don't seem to understand, why you have a whole missing kid. It's going to be the same with the Soto case. It was the same with Harvey Montgomery. Don't you get it? You get all this he said, she said, and gossip because the people are street people. Doesn't matter about campers. Doesn't matter about a nice house. Doesn't matter about motorcycles. Doesn't matter about driving Infinity trucks. You're not paying attention. They're street people. You had a little white girl missing from the holler with some street trash as parents. 3 brothers in foster care. The parents too lazy to go pick up their fucking kids and do right by them because they weren't doing right by them in the first place. That's why they're gone. That's why the little girl is still missing. Stay woke. Ain't y'all to figure that out? All the stories are the same because you got trifling people raising kids. You got trifling people who have checked out. their devices and their personal wants and needs are more important than raising their children. So you can't be shocked when you hear a child shot another child. That's a case we got right now in the books in Knoxville. A 2-year-old little girl has been shot by another child. Juveniles have been detained. 3 juveniles have been detained. Now what the fuck they doing with a gun? That means mom and daddy left the gun out for the kids to get the gun, to play with the gun, and shoot the little girl. All the stories are the same. Grandma Robin, let me give you a piece of advice. Please stop talking. You a day late, dollar short anyway, because you didn't come on the scene until here recently. A month ago at the vigil. So why now you want to start talking on Facebook about what people are saying and this ain't fair and don't talk bad about my son? I'm kind of like with AB, you know, it's too late for all that now. See, you all kill me with this shit. Y'all want to wait a day late, dollar short to come running out with your fucking cakes on, talking about who said what and this is unfair. Life's unfair. How about that? Life's unfair. Obviously, life was unfair for the grandson. He didn't have anybody in his corner. So you sound foolish saying, oh, I was the only one he could talk to. Well, you didn't help him. So you sound like a fool putting that out to the public. That you sat and listened to a child complain about being abused and you did nothing. He would never trust me again. I say so. Now, we have learned that adults do that. They complain to people, but they don't want you out here gossiping about it and telling people, going back, telling the people, because circumstances are different for grown folks. Grown folks like to fight, get weapons. But a child needs saving, do they not? And you are not a savior. And now you're up here hee-hawing around on Facebook, the dirty book, the lie book. Just stop it. Just stop it. Because you sound like a fool. Telling people your child was abused and you didn't do a fucking thing. So now, Seth, what do you have to say about this? Oh, I guess Tony, he's going to answer for you. This is all out of control. This is Summer Wells 10.0. Skip 2.0, 3.0. Hell no, we off the Richter scale. But this is what you get with abuse, neglect. You start hearing crazy stuff about the parents, grandparents, neighbors, friends, associates, because people weren't doing right by the child. You are never going to hear a story of a dead kid, missing kid, without some shenanigans attached to it. Because that's the reason why they're dead. That's the reason why they're missing. That's the reason why they're severely abused, because people didn't care. And there's always somebody that saw the signs. Is it not? Oh, I was looking out the window and he ain't had no shoes on. Oh, yeah, I saw her outside and the mama car was gone and she was playing by herself. You wait to tell us that when they found a little girl dead in Alabama. Taylor Rose. You all remember that story, don't you? The neighbor decided he wanted to come tell us the business about the little girl outside playing all the time while the mama going to work. Mama's in the military. Oh, yes, Summer was up downstairs, and I know it was hot down there, and they had the door locked from the inside to outside. I called CPS, and there's not much you can do but call, pull in a complaint. You can't make the CPS see what you see. That's why people are supposed to pop up unexpectedly. That way you can get the business and get the proof. Because frankly, if a social worker had went in Summer Wells' house, they would have seen this ain't no place for no child. What fool else stayed down in the damn dungeon, cold-ass basement, high-ass basement, however it was, with no toys, no bed. Why would I let her stay here? But then like my social worker associate told me, we don't remove kids just because the house ain't clean and ain't up to code, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's why she missing. How about that? So maybe you all need to take that criteria and change it. Maybe you do need to remove kids from filthy houses, nasty houses, laundry powder to the ceiling. Don't got a working refrigerator. Don't got doors on the hinges. Come on now. Say, well, And how ironic is it that most cases that you hear of children missing, why do you always hear CPS in the same sentence? Say, well, 15-year-old white boy missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. CPS was involved. CPS was called, but they closed the case. They didn't find any abuse, but he missing. Little white girl goes missing out of a holler. CPS was called. I called CPS. You ain't even found her yet. Say, well. Hello, dear. Always CPS involved in a missing child's case. What are the odds? You all better pay attention. And you social workers need to pay attention and change the criteria. And it's also time for you all to start being charged with accessory. Child abuse and neglect yourself. Because if you're not doing the paperwork, you're not showing up to the house, you're not following through, you're not even going to see if the child is breathing or not, your ass needs to go down. We're going to stop this bullshit. You don't get no fucking free pass. You don't get to keep jumping from job to job with a degree and you are neglecting kids. Getting a free fucking check from the state. Yeah, you're no different than people who complain about people getting welfare and food stamps. How you different? You ain't. Because game recognized game. CPS is a dirty game. Got some good workers, got some bad ones. Got some good supervisors, got some bad ones. Good cop, bad cop. Stay well. The game is the same.
Oh my God. He was protecting his dad. He did not want his dad to do anything that would harm himself or his career. Do I regret not telling him? You bet I do. But I told him Sebastian would have never trusted me again. So stop your speculation. I beat myself up enough. You don't need to beat me up too. So came over. This is yesterday came across, and she had a clip. This clip from News Nation, whom I don't watch. I hate American News Nation coverage.
He says he hates
This
it.
one was interesting because Michelle Cohen was up there beside Seth, talking for Seth. Think about it for a second. What are you, an idiot? You got somebody up here beside you doing the talking for you on your behalf. Why are you even up here to begin with? Like, Seth, if you can't speak for yourself, what is it you're even doing up here? Release a statement to the news media. You're towing around a bunch of people that have come out of the woodwork.
They talked to Seth and he was looking for somebody, a PI to hire, and he had referred me. So I called Seth and here we are. That was about 2 weeks ago. And yes, law enforcement was standoffish at first with me. And I think that's just because, they had some, Seth can be hard to deal with because he's going through a lot right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of trauma. So what can you tell us so far about your investigation? What have you learned? What were the circumstances of the home, of his
This is from 2 weeks ago.
dad?
This is from 2 weeks ago, too, by the way. Not breaking news. It's just new because I haven't watched it, right?
The thud that they heard.
Well, I can tell you that from my investigation, I believe that
No, it's you, Heather. Every time that somebody asks Heather Cohen a question, it's this big problem. Well, you need to be chipper to answer the questions. You got to be happy, Heather. Be happy, Heather. Be happy to answer everything. I'm happy to answer everything. Don't make everything a real drawn-out problem. Oh, everything's just so daunting. Oh.
this is a domino effect of events. I believe that we have to go all the way back to probably December and January are going to be key months. There are a lot of
Heather brought up an important point there. Stick all the way back to December to the Christmas break where Chris Proudfoot brought his daughter, Nina's daughter, in for the holidays and shipped out Sebastian to Seth's. At that point in time, he should never have let Sebastian go back, but he did. So go back to that point in time and really talk about the problems that were going on in the household, a lot of which we've heard snippets here and there. These are also facts of the case there Seth's mom, okay? Why don't you get your ass out there and find Sebastian? Why don't you go and pick Katie and Chris up and go out and look together? We'll sit here and keep talking.
Events, there was a lot of turmoil surrounding Sebastian. We know that Chris Prophet was in the middle of a custody battle with his ex-wife. We know that the daughter did visit over Christmas break. We know that Sebastian was with Seth during that time. We know that...
I just read a post today that none of these PIs are on the case. What happened? Why is Tony Mathis still on and the PI's gone? Why is there so much distrust between everybody who say they're genuinely trying to find Sebastian Rogers? Why do we keep having all these messy Kens and Karens getting involved, searching? This is why I keep telling you all, people are people. Just because a person says they're out here trying to find a kid, help with a kid, it does not mean that they're genuine. It does not mean the family members aren't genuine. Because you don't know people. Ask yourself, if you don't know the parents and what you're seeing of them is foul, imagine what you don't know. And then also imagine just random people jumping in talking about, I'm here to help. We got a lot of Captain Save-A-Hoes. But they don't give two fucks about no child. Some may be in it for the money, the attention. Mr. Mathis tells us he's footing the bill on his own. So what we have to ask ourselves is, what is his income and his salary, and what job description does he have to afford running around the United States helping people with missing children? Say, well, is he a millionaire? What the fuck he got? So if that's the case, somebody just give me some money and I'll ride around and jump around too and go over here and over there to go help search for somebody and look for somebody. I gotta have gas money to drive. I gotta make sure the car is decent enough to go 3 hours up the highway, 6 hours up the highway, jump on an airplane, round trip ticket, hotel fee, gotta eat, stay woke. Hey, I ain't making no money up here to do all that. Because somebody's got to watch my content in order for me to make money to go fly around the United States, to pop up at somebody's house, pop up outside of King Road, pop up over there in Hendersonville. Hell yeah, it costs. Stay woke. It's on my channel, sweetheart. Go to my channel. That's where I have all the breaking news and updates and movie suggestions. It costs to survive, it costs to eat, it costs to live. So in order to go run around the United States like a bat out of hell, you gotta have money. The Queen ain't got that kind of money to go run around and jump out of helicopters talking about, I want to help. And I also know how to stay in my damn lane too. And from previous experience in dealing with true crime, sometimes it's best to be a spectator. And that's what I do up here. I'm a spectator. I don't have to be on the ground. Because being on the ground don't mean that I'm serving a purpose. Because it depends on my demeanor and how I carry myself if I'm serving a purpose. And that's something a lot of people don't understand. It's like the lady who I was watching last night. You either on the fence or off the fence. You can't search for a child sitting in your car going live. I said that. You got to get your ass out the car and walk around. You can't complain about the ticks and the this and that. Well, hey, we got bugs in Tennessee. Shut your mouth. This ain't New York. They got rats, we got ticks. Shut up, Quay. You got to get up. Look, I got to start preaching. You got to get up. And walk around the pond. You got to put a long stick in the pond. And the point is, you ain't gonna know if he in the pond or not, because you ain't in the water and you ain't wading in the water. Come on, when the Queen preached to him. Look, we'll pretend it's still Sunday. We at church. You got to get up and get in the water. You got to get up and walk around the pond. Tennessee is big. Hell yeah, it's big. this little boy. I'm going to keep it real. Because it's wooded here, whether it's summer, fall, winter, or spring. He could be laying in front of you if you didn't smell him, deceased. That's the point. You don't know where to look. Naturally, you go in places close by the house, but if you don't know what the fuck is going on, how do you know where to search? That's just common sense. Naturally, you search close to the house, you search close proximity to the house, but then when you start looking at the vast spread of the land, honey, it stretches for miles. And then you become weary because you're like, Jesus Christ, where do we go? Because you don't know where to go.
That there was a DCS referral in, I believe, February to the Stafford home. That call was likely determined to be unfounded because the case was closed and that file is restricted at this time. I know Seth has tried to find out more about that call and he has been unsuccessful in doing so.
Why is we know it's probably restricted because he's missing the case. But what I don't understand is, why would you not give information to Seth Roberts? This is bizarre to me. He is the father. He claims he had no idea of a CPS case, or whatever. Pookie Ray Ray calling. So he calls you to say, hi, I'm the father of the missing boy. I'd like to know what information you have, what cases you've had, how many complaints you've had, how many calls have been made, and you tell him, well, I can't discuss that with you. Excuse me? What'd you say? You can't discuss it with me. What you mean? Oh, hell to the no. That's my child. The hell you mean you can't tell me how many people called on about my son being abused? And why didn't you contact me? Because I'm the living father. I'm on paperwork. Excuse me. Look, what we saying? Excuse me, Miss Jackson. That's my child. What you mean? You think I wouldn't go over her head, whoever the social worker's head is? I'd have your head on a platter. I'd have the supervisor's head on a platter. And don't let me find out your government name. Oh yeah, I go deep to belly the beast on your ass. I tell you what, when I got to spread the good news, you wouldn't want to work for DHS. Nowhere. Say it again, Quinn. Exactly. Thank you, Cornbread. Longest state in the Union, Tennessee. Exactly, it is. It's a long state. I didn't know it was not the longest state in the Union. I didn't know that, but I know it was a long state. So, here you have a father that don't know nothing about nothing. His mama knows the child's being abused. Then he decides to tell us the good news that the little boy said he didn't want to go home. I asked you where, why, how long, when did the little boy tell him? Seth leaves it open-ended on one of the news programs, which you never do. Always fully explain yourself. Reporters always fully ask them to define their answer. You know, TV news, blogging is like talking to children. Nobody wants to fully explain themselves. Somebody always got to go behind them and say, well, what do you mean by that? Please elaborate. I hate when people do that. They don't fully explain shit. So then you're sitting there wondering, well, what do they mean? Or when did they talk to them? So we got CPS here in Tennessee telling this man, oh, I can't tell you nothing because you know your child missing it. It's a closed case and it's a CIA case. Baby, this is what I would tell him. Ooh, it could be Queen, Lord have mercy. I wish the hell a supervisor, social worker would tell Queen, well, I can't give you any information. I say, baby, you want your job? That's all I'm going to ask you. Hello, Sue. Do you want your job? Hello, Colorado. Do you want your job, Miss Lady? Sir. Because people know how I get down. The way you see Queen on YouTube, this is how I do business in real life. I say very delicately. I don't get ham like I do in the live stream, but I let you know I'm in the room. Because certain things you have to do delicately as so you don't end up incarcerated and lose out on whatever it is you're trying to get from the opponent. Stay woke. So what I do is I say it like this, especially when I'm dealing with business. Well, I'm just going to let you know that I'm very flustered with the said information. And I feel like I'm tired of reading emails and going back and forth for phone calls, this and that. I'm tired. I don't feel well. I have health problems. Did y'all catch that? Oh, I do that very well. And sometimes I let you know I have decided that I no longer want to engage in conversations with you. Click. I don't play that shit. Don't fuck with my time. I am older. I don't have time to do emails, and I'm sick of passwords. See, I'm about to get off the fucking subject now. I'm sick of emails, passwords. Everything you do now is email passwords. Email passwords, username. And listening to this bullshit here about the CPS, that just comes to my mind. This is the world we live in. You can't get no straight answer about nothing. And you got to go around and around and around in circles just to take care of basic business. There is no way in hell a CPS worker going to tell me they can't tell me nothing about the case. I am the biological parent. What the fuck do you mean? I will tell him, baby, if you want to continue working for the state, you are going to tell me about my child's case. Now, what you've gathered there after the disappearance, okay, you want to play CIA with that information? Knock yourself out. But before he went missing, I want to know the fucking case file. And if you don't give me the information, I will have your head on a platter. I will have you fired. I will let everybody know what's going on. I'm going to break you. That's how you do that. And just make sure you don't threaten the heifer. Ask not to have it on a recorded call, and then they decide they want to call the damn police. You know how to talk and word it in a diplomatic fashion. Let's see your answers on the poll. Could this boy child go to work, go to college, and live on his own? 35% yes, 31% no, 35% not sure. Is he highly functioning? Is he an autistic person that can work a job? Go to college, go to a trade school, rent an apartment. He must. Because Seth had to work, so that means he was leaving the boy alone. I keep trying to tell y'all don't pay attention to stuff. Y'all too busy listening to all that other bullshit on YouTube. What did I tell you about a story? Everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story, if you pay attention. Why don't you all ask questions pertaining to this old he said, she said they keep putting out? See, they're telling you a story, but you're not listening. See, I always ask the question that don't nobody ask. Because you're too stuck on the gossip. Seth had to go to work. So who was watching Sebastian Rogers? Checkmate. I'm going to let that sit right there.
But I've also recently learned that there may have been some talk about Chris leaving Katie, and I feel that probably had something.
You know, if there's a train to get on right now, Katie leaving Chris at this point in time would probably be one of the best things that she ever did in her life. Straight into a woman's shelter, and then to a residence afterwards. But the key is to get away from that.
AB, Canadian bacon, please. That girl ain't trying to leave that man. She ain't trying to leave her cushy life. This is probably the best life Katie Proudfoot has had since she became an adult. Pay attention. I got an Infinity big boy truck. My husband got a big boy truck. My husband got a motorcycle. My husband got a camper. My husband got a good job. We got a good house in Hendersonville. Who the hell want to leave this life? Anybody listening to the point? Somebody help me. Woo, I'm in a preaching mood. Shut your mouth. I got a good life, Mr. A.B. I don't want to leave this life, but I can get rid of this boy, because he's gone permanently. Can the church say amen? Woo! Please, everybody, pay attention. I'm not going nowhere. I like my life. My husband's dirty, but I'm gonna stay. I know he talks too much, but I'm all right. I done told him, please stay off of YouTube. He won't listen. Y'all gossiping about us, but I got a big boy house. Woo! I got a camper. Woo! He got a motorcycle. Woo! We got good money and savings. Woo! And I'm free. Free. Without a 15-year-old problem. Y'all don't hear me. Somebody please pay attention. Because y'all losing focus.
Husband of his. Then investigators probably be able to get somewhere. How long, with the pressure on, with all kinds of things to hide at this point in time, do you think it's going to be before they both crack? This isn't going to go away for them. And you can see they really are trying hard for it to progress on and move on with their lives in that sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, and 2 months after the fact, from
Past tense. They have moved on. That's the point of the story. The Proudfoots have moved on. And you can move on because you have taken care of business. You've eliminated the problem. And this happens every day in life, even when it's not murder. Kind of like a relationship. When you have finally decided that you no longer want to deal with this person, you don't want to talk to them, you want to hear from them, you won't allow nobody to pass you no damn messages, text messages, you keep it moving. Even when people come up and start talking that damn BS, whether you say, hey, I don't want to hear it, I've moved on, I don't want to be with them, ain't no love, whatever. Maybe you still love them, but you kept it moving. That's what happened here. They got rid of the baggage and they kept it moving. That's the reason why Katie Proudfoot is down in Mississippi, Ohio, wherever the hell she is. I'm gone. That kind of defeats the purpose, huh? Damn, why ain't y'all paying attention? I got rid of the kid. I go where the fuck I want to go. Fuck y'all worry about me being in Mississippi in a camper. And what did somebody say in the comment section? Woo, y'all know y'all was putting it down in that comment section. He had the nerve to talk about Nina living in a trailer with her parents. He in a camper. Oh, but it's a deluxe camper. You missed that part. Ding, ding, ding. My camper better than your trailer. I don't want to be in that nasty ass trailer. Hurricane come through, flip it up, tear it up. And you forgot they got a whole house. So the camper don't mean nothing because I can go back to my house and lay it up and be scot-free, debt-free without that kid. You all better wake up. So now when you sit there and say, oh, he's high functioning, he probably could have worked a job, went to school, went to college. Now you got to ask yourself, then why isn't he here? Because we've been thinking the motive is what? He's an autistic, he's a problem. Well, he was a problem regardless. Bingo card, bring it home, queen, because that's what I told you in the first damn place. It ain't about autism. They don't hear you. It ain't about autism. I wanna be free. Free to roam, free to go, get up, do what I want. Ain't nobody tagging at my coattail. Even for a 15-year-old. Mama. You all know it, you all the parents. How many times your child call your damn name? Daddy, 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 daddy. And you ready to fucking just go off. Please shut up, stop calling my damn name, let me breathe. Even the husbands get mad at the wife. Honey, 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 honey. I heard men say that will you please just let me get in the door without complaining, please? Will you please let me get in the door without telling me about the faucet, the sink, the mailman, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker? Please just let me sit down and pull my socks off, pull my shoes off, because it gets like that sometimes. So let's not all get too funkified up in this chat and act like we ain't never been frustrated with children and relatives and wives and husbands and boyfriends. There have been many a day you just wanted to walk out the door with a Kroger bag and keep it moving. Fuck this life. I'm out of here. That's why people leave. Oh, shit. Don't get serious on them, Queen. Oh, I got to do that. Because I wouldn't be Queen if I didn't really break it down to you. There's days we all get tired. We get flustered. And it ain't got to be about no autistic child, wayward child. Just days you just say, the hell with all of this. I ain't trying to kill myself, but damn, I want a new life. I want something better than this shit. Sick of everybody. Sick of this house. Sick of these kids. Sick of this man. Sick of this woman. Sick of this dog. Sick of this cat chewing up on my damn good furniture. Just sick. Sick of the neighbors. Fuck it. I'm walking out. I'm going to the bus stop. And wherever that fucking bus stop, that's where I end up. I ain't answering the phone, no text messages. I just got to get the hell away. Don't tell me you ain't never felt like checking out. Because I think you'd be lying if you said no.
Child, you want us to be out there searching? Your child should have been in within 500 feet of that house. Should have been outside in the first place. Never once to hear Katie say, "Oh my God, I can't believe that something happened and I slept through it." 16 years, and she hadn't expected that to happen. Hadn't protected herself against it. Hadn't worried about it. No, because she had Sebastian locked in the garage where he couldn't escape.
Thing to do with Sebastian, so there may have been some trouble in paradise. To me, these are all things that need to be considered. Could these things have led up to maybe Sebastian just feeling a certain kind of way and leaving? You know, if he
the cops are not going to tell you if the investigation has shifted in this circumstance, considering how close the suspects have presented the case to law enforcement. You don't want to compromise that relationship that you've established already. You want to keep thinking that you're buying all of it until that one day where you bring him in and he has that question he doesn't want to answer. Back at Sebastian Rogers' grandma failed Sebastian Tennessee JLR's released from 8 hours ago.
All right. We're going to end that with AB's commentary. Thank you, Mr. AB, for your commentary. Feel free to check out his network. And also, thank you for sharing my content on your platform. Let's go into the belly of the beast, everybody. Thank you for joining. I got a long list. Seth Rogers, did you know that your boy child was being abused by Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot? If so, why didn't you say something to them? If you did, what was their response? What was the real reason your child was getting ready to leave? Was your child functioning to where he could go to school, work a job, live a life on his own, rent an apartment, so on and so forth, fill out an application? What is the status of this boy's intellect? Where did you meet Katie Proudfoot? Rumor is saying that you knew her as a young preteen. So did you have sexual relations with a young Katie Proudfoot? If so, you are a hypocrite by talking about pedophilia and her neglecting the child and having people around the child to sexually abuse him, because indeed that means you are also a pedophile, sir. Say whoa. Katie Proudfoot, what is your relationship now with Mr. Chris? Are you happily married? Do you have any regrets in marrying him? Do you have any regrets in divorcing Mr. Seth Rogers? Do you want any children with Christopher Proudfoot? Did you try to have children? Can you have children? What is the status of faith Christopher Proudfoot's girl child? What happened in court? Is he allowed to see her? Supervised visits? What is going to happen in that case? Your relationship with your family members, Katie Proudfoot. Where are your siblings? Why hasn't anyone from your side of the family spoken out about your child publicly? Why don't you have any friends speaking out about the disappearance of your child? I find it very odd that Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot has had no one speak publicly about the disappearance of the boy child. We haven't heard from friends, school teachers, nobody. Everybody's talking and whispering under their breath. And that's somebody said on Facebook. I can see why a parent would not want their child talking to the news or YouTubers, because it can get very messy and dicey. And God forbid an affidavit comes along after an arrest, then here comes witness testimony. Some people just don't want their children getting involved in dirty business. Could Sebastian work a job, go to college, live on his own? 39% says no. 30% says yes, not sure. 30% going to end that poll. Kind of neck to neck. Everybody's confused. Grandma knew that the boy was abused. When did he tell you this, ma'am? And why are you putting this on social media and in the same breath complaining about conspiracy theorists and people gossiping? People ain't got to gossip if you don't give them nothing to talk about. Say, well, what did I tell you? You can't act a donkey's ass, break the law, and then worry about what people are going to say, find out you've been arrested or been in trouble. It's just the nature of the beast. But I get it. Everybody wants privacy. Nobody wants their secrets out. That's understandable. But I would never tell people that my grandchild told me they were abused and I didn't do anything about it. And as I told people, the Queen has lived. And there are lots of things I've never spoken about on the network pertaining to my own personal life and dealing with childhood trauma. Maybe one day when I get a little gutsy, I might share a story with you. Sometimes I've shared a story and I just didn't tell you I was the person in the story. Pay attention. So I'm going to spin a quick tale. Queen knows all about child abuse and pedophilia. And telling someone that someone has been touched in the family inappropriately and the parent turned a blind eye. And even to this day, siblings play dumb about the role of their parent who had knowledge, because they don't want to look at their mother in a bad way, although she's not alive. So you see, people hold secrets and people hear secrets and denounce them and push them under the rug because they don't want to acknowledge the truth. They take what they want from the story. That's why I keep trying to tell people, people are devious. People are devious. You can't talk about the pedophile as a bad person, but you don't want to own the fact that your own mother knew and allowed the pedophile around you and your siblings. You forgot about that part. Because you adored your mother. But you don't want to accept that your mother aided the pedophile. Checkmate. In this commentary by AB, he says that she's a nurse practitioner. Is that true? Grandma, when did you tell Seth about what Sebastian told you, or did you ever tell Seth? And once again, what is Seth's role in knowing that his child was being abused by the proud foots? As they say, you took an oath to do no harm in the medical profession, Grandma. So you did do harm by not alerting authorities and the parent, Mr. Seth, of the abuse. Why didn't you call Katie to talk to her? You say you don't have any fear of the Proudfoots, then you should have been jiggy enough to call Katie to say, hey, I want to holler at you, homegirl. What's this bullshit I hear about y'all abusing my grandson? So you're a hypocrite. And if your son messed with Katie as a young girl, he's a hypocrite as well. Because a pedophile can't talk about another pedophile. Shut your mouth. They don't hear you, Queen. Thank you, sweetheart. Say it again, Queen. A pedophile can't talk about another pedophile. So, Mr. Seth, Mr. Yogi Bear, now you know damn well you can't talk about nobody touching your boy when you were touching Katie. Hot damn. And as I said to AB on his channel, I sure hope that rumor is just what it is, a rumor. Because I need to know how you met Katie, what were the circumstances, and what was your relationship when you met her and thereafter. See, y'all left that door open, did you not? Chris has secrets on Seth. Grandma says no, he does not. Well then, what's the truth? Seth, do you have secrets that you don't want us to know? Maybe it's this mess about Katie being a young girl and you were bedding a young girl. We project that she was pregnant at 18 or so. Still too young to be having sex. 18 does not mean you need to do everything. Yeah, you can vote, drive a car, but that don't mean you need to be having sex because our minds aren't equipped to deal with sex at 18, 16, 22. As they love to say, age is just a number. Oh, it's more than just a number. You could be 28 and not be able to deal with sexual relationships. Come on now, we're all grown. Have sex and fall out and ready to shoot everybody on sight. Because somebody ain't answering your damn phone call, your text. Sex was so good, you done lost your damn mind and you think you in love. Because that's what happens. Equating physical contact with love. And it's not the truth. And somebody has to teach you about love. Having sex isn't love. Doing sexual acts is not love. Kissing is not love. But somebody has to teach you that. Because if nobody's ever taught you that, how are you supposed to know? So I also question when she had the boy child and her stayed in the military. So where was the boy when she was in the military? Stay woke. Who was keeping the boy when Katie was in the military? See, y'all don't ask the right questions. You're too busy running around in circles like a dog trying to chase that tail that's not going to detach itself. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm going to toot my own horn up here because I think I do a pretty damn good job with my commentary, minus the cuss words. Who was keeping the boy when she was in the military? You can't jump over hoops and go through basic training with your belly out or with a baby on your back. Ain't nobody asked that question. All you want to talk about is what somebody said on Facebook, what somebody said on somebody else's YouTube channel. But you don't even ask shit that's sitting right in front of you. Who kept the little boy when she was in the military? I'll wait. Damn, how you missed that? Come on, you guys. Let's get on board. Seth Rogers, did you bed an underage Katie Proudfoot? Grandma, did you know that he bedded an underage child? Because if so, that means you just as nasty as Seth. Everybody paying attention? Once again, when did the boy tell you he was abused? How old was he? 15, 13, 12? How long did it go on? Did you also know about the diaper wearing since you two were so close? Remember to do no harm, and you have. So you disobeyed your vows you took as a medical provider. What are the secrets that that Chris has on Seth, if true? Is he a high-functioning autistic person? Could he go out on his own after the age of 18? Why can't CPS tell Seth about the case before the boy went missing? I find that very peculiar. I got information today that the PIs are no longer working for Seth Rogers. Why? What happened? There's some shenanigans on Facebook and YouTube about this Jules person who's a K-9 handler I don't know what that's all about, but we're going to go into the belly of the beast, and I'm going to read you that commentary as well. Don't you find it interesting and ironic that most children who that are reported missing or abuse has been found, and it makes the news, that CPS was always involved in the case? Don't you find that interesting? Every time a child goes missing, every time a child is found dead, every time there's a case found of severe abuse, CPS is somewhere lingering in the background. Why is that? I'll let that sit right there. Seth Rogers, are you going to hire any more private investigators? Do you think Seth should be speaking for himself? But he's going back to work, so maybe he needs somebody to stand in the gap for him. Is Mr. Tony Mathis a good fit, or should he give him his walking papers? Grandma, why are you on Facebook talking now? Maybe you should be quiet, because you're contradicting yourself. Sometimes it's best to be quiet. Stand in the background, be a spectator. Because you weren't out here in the beginning when the boy went missing as a united front with your son, nor was Seth in the Proud footage, which to me is very sad. And we saw with Riley Strain, a 20-something-year-old man, all his parents were together during their press conferences to show that they were unified, whether they liked each other or not. And there's also some new information about Mr. Riley Strain. I will bring that to you later. The family wants privacy now. Ain't that a bitch? Toxicology reports are back, and now they want privacy. So were drugs found in the system of Riley Strain? I'll bring you that update when I get it. Katie Proudfoot, where's the outcry from your family? Christopher Proudfoot, same thing. Where are you all's friends, relatives, neighbors to say that you all are good people, decent people? Some of us got it wrong. Where are your friends and your family? Once again, Katie Proudfoot, do you get along with your mother, your father, your siblings? Do they get along with you? Do they have something they'd like to tell us about your relationship with the boy and your relationship with your husband and your husband's relationship with Sebastian Rogers? Some children talked to a YouTuber and said that he took regular classes, he was okay in school, and they also believe that the Proudfoots are involved in the disappearance of their classmates. I'm going to go into the belly of the beast and mention something that nobody has talked about on YouTube to my knowledge, and it's probably going to rattle a cage or two, but we need to discuss it as well. What else is going to be revealed in this case pertaining to this kid? Who else is going to jump out of a clown car with some he said and some she said? High-functioning autistic kid. Could this child work, go to school, and also rent an apartment after the age of 18? With all you heard on YouTube, Facebook pertaining to these clowns that were parents to this child, yeah, we're going to go ahead and say word. Imagine what you don't know. Say, well, imagine what you don't know about Sebastian Rogers, Seth Rogers, Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. Because right now they're just some walkie-talkies, and they're not talking about the boy, they're not talking about the case, they're not talking about searching, they're not talking about anything positive pertaining to the boy, because they're showing you what was going on when he was visible. That's the point. Can't contain themselves. Oh, he knew Katie when she was 14, 13. Oh my God, she's bipolar, blah, blah, blah. Just irrelevant shit. Now, some people might say, well, her being bipolar is relevant. We need to know her mental state. But who's going to tell you the truth? That's the point of the story. You going to listen to somebody that's a possible murderer? A murderer? Do I want to believe a murderer? Do I want to believe somebody that murdered a kid? Now, let me think about that for a second. Now, can a murderer tell the truth? Sometimes. Then maybe not. Christopher Proudfoot, why are you telling such personal things about your wife on YouTube? Whatever happened to talking about the boy? Please explain to me. Katie's bipolar. Hell, some people think you bipolar too. Just read a comment on Facebook. Do you think he's acting like this and saying these things so later he can plead not insane? Then he's insane in case they find the boy? Somebody said, He knows exactly what he's doing and what he's saying. Why are you not speaking about the child in a positive light? Christopher Proudfoot. Allegedly, he's going to be on the Pascal show tonight, Mr. Tony Mathis. They're going to address Jules Valenti, all the hate she's receiving as the K-9 handler. I don't really know what all that nonsense is about with this chase and crime business. I don't know what's really going on with all that. Let's go into the belly of the beast of what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Was he, number one, unalived by his mother? 2, unalived by his stepfather. Number 3, taken from his house by Seth Rogers. 4, both parents, Proudfoot's unalived the child. Did Katie take it halfway? And then Chris unalived and disposed of the child. Or was he unalived by the mother and she took a dead child to Christopher Proudfoot and he disposed of the body? And the ultimate hypothesis that nobody has mentioned to my knowledge, was this a prank? That crossed my mind briefly, but I have not discussed it on my network. So we will go into the belly of the beast now during this live stream. As I said, this is an in-depth discussion pertaining to the rumors and the rhetoric pertaining to this boy child. I brought you information about autism. Please go back to the beginning of this live stream to understand the spectrum and know that high function is not medically diagnosed. That is a street person's terminology. But all autism people do not act the same. They do not have the same characteristics. Was this a prank by school children? Did the boy piss somebody off at school? Was it a prank that went bad? Was it a prank that was done deliberately? Did somebody call the boy child and told him to meet them somewhere outside of his house? He got into their car or met them somewhere. He was unalived. They still had to at least have a car to dispose of the body. Because if they were on foot, one would think his body would have been found by now. Stay woke. Was this a prank by schoolmates that went out of hand, either unintentionally or deliberately? Because that's a subject matter that most of us have not touched on, and I know I've not touched on it on this network, but I read it on a Facebook post, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Let's go to Facebook, and let's really get to business. Thank you for joining me. Where is Sebastian Rogers? Who holds the key to where he can be found and located? Is the child alive or not? Find Sebastian Rogers' Facebook page is where I'm now venturing. You're entitled to believe what you want pertaining to the information that I'm getting ready to relate to you. Know that everything you hear is a version. Feel free to join the Facebook page if you like. The Pascal show will be a viewing tonight at 7 p.m. and I'm assuming Mr. Mathis will be on that program. We will see. Hold on 1 second, because they got a lot of posts on this page. Uploaded 15 hours ago. Tony Mathis just confirmed that Seth now has a lawyer and have received copies of the CPS reports concerning Sebastian. Is that true? I just asked that question during this live stream. Why does this man not have information from the CPS reports? Somebody also posted to this page, they believe other people are involved. Are there? We will see. This is what somebody posted earlier about Christopher Proudfoot. I'm finding it to be very sad about Chris. It is screamingly clear that there are mental health issues going on with him. Multiple personality disorder, bipolar disorder, and others. The more I think about that, the more I start to wonder, is he starting to feel the case closing in on them? And so he is purposely acting the way he is, both actions and words. So if or when they make an arrest, and if it is him, he can try to plead insanity. He not only is narcissistic, but he also flips a switch and goes 0 to 100 within seconds. I can only imagine what Sebastian has seen and heard. It's sad, extremely sad. Somebody replies, I think he's just tired of being harassed and accused and stalked every day, honestly. Well, now, I guess. What else these heathens got to say about this nonsense? Then somebody replies, maybe he shouldn't have done all this, waves arms and huge circular motions at the mess this has become. Yeah, I guess. Right. Well, he's doing it because of that. If people would just leave him alone, he wouldn't be acting out. Before that, somebody says, then maybe he's, somebody he's tired. This is so ridiculous. I think this is who he is. I don't think it has anything to do with he's ill or any of those things. I think he's just doing what he's been doing. Let's hear from Tony Mathis.
After Jules is, and sending pictures of your dogs, you don't even get their names right. The images you're sending in of your dogs have been reverse Google image search, and they actually came from like Chewy. They're Chewy images. So I mean, this is crazy and highly disrespectful, because Jules is a 13-year Army captain. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but she's a 13-year Army captain serving our country. She's got 7 highly qualified dogs. She's got 2 dogs that are pertinent to the type of search that we're doing. What kind of dogs are those, Dana? German Shepherd, and what was the other one? Malinois or something?
Yeah, Belgian Malinois.
Yeah, like no joke of a dog, according to my wife. I don't know shit about a dog, sorry. But, so Jules, when you hear the name Jules, she is our K-9 person. And she is a part of our team. She's Seth's girl. We support her. We endorse her. She is, if her name isn't Jules, then she's not a part of what we're doing. I have no idea who this Stephanie person is, but she's not part of our team. And honestly, I think she's probably a troll. I don't even know if she's a real troll.
I think she's a
I was
troll.
going to say, let's clear up, because I think people might get confused. Because, we get people, there's a lot of information coming inside.
The lady speaking is from Chase in Crime, and Tony Mathis is the male voice you hear. And so he is tooting the horn for Miss Valente as the K-9 handler. She's getting some flack for some reason. I don't really know what's going on. And the Stephanie person has been deemed allegedly a fraud. And that's who he's speaking of as far as reverse Google photographs or whatever. This is getting outrageous. This is what I'm talking about. It seems like in every case, the people who get on the ground to immerse themselves in the case, people start hearing and saying foul things about them, that they're fraudulent, that they're only in it for the money, they're not qualified, they don't know what they're doing. Of course, these are the same things that you all were saying about Tony Mathis. Some of you, now we're hearing some things about this Stephanie person, don't know who the hell she is. This is what I'm talking about, how things get out of control. It's bad enough we believe the boy was neglected by his parents. Each party was not doing their due diligence to take care of him, turned a blind eye. Now he's missing, possibly deceased. And we've got all these other intricate people weaving their way into the story, and now everybody's throwing daggers at everyone. Don't you see where this is going? First it's the parents, then it's the people who were searching. Nonsense with the searches. Cage and Navy, you all criticize them. You criticize Tony Mathis. Now this Stephanie person, you're saying she's a troll and this and that. I don't know who none of these people are, because this is what I keep trying to tell you. Chaos breeds chaos. That's the point. If you see that the parents ain't right, what makes you think some random person jumping on the scene that they are right? Everybody carries baggage. Everybody carries sin. And everybody involved in a story is not genuine. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know anything about this K-9 handler. I've heard her speak about her credentials and everything. This Jules person, I believe. And I don't know about these other people. It was Jules or Stephanie. One of them I heard on one of the news programs. I get them mixed up because I ain't really trying to pay attention, because I'm getting befuddled with all this nonsense. This is Summer Wells all over again. All these people jumping out of helicopters, drones and shit, wanting to be important. Oh, I work with the such and such, such and such, and I'm here such and such, such and such, and I don't want anything, I'm just trying to help. You know how many times I heard that with Summer Wells? YouTubers claiming to be helpful. Random people in the community wanting to be helpful, and it all backfired. And it got so bad to where we had a messy boost from the UK, got the fucking reward fund dismantled. This shit's got to stop.
Inside and outside of this case, trolls and not trolls, real, real legit, not real legit, and there's so much going on. So let's clarify who we're speaking about on who this other person is. So there's two separate dog handlers, correct? I think Ocean knows a lot more about the dog handlers than I do. I have all the emails.
Stephanie is the one who claimed that she's from Orange County. Her and her husband, she claims her husband is 45 years law enforcement. They were cleared by TBI. They took a private plane on their own dime to fly their dogs out there because they didn't want their dogs in cargo. And when they got there, their dogs started to hit on the curb area, and that's when Chris Proudfoot told her to get the hell out of there. And she was, I think you remember I told you, Chase, I was like, oh, that sounded a little weird. She kept focusing a lot on our airport here and how Kobe flies out of it. Like, who cares? Why did she keep bringing that up? It was almost like a clout thing, I kind of thought. And then I thought it was a little strange how she was crying a lot. I thought that was a little unprofessional. But I don't know a whole lot about dogs, so I didn't really.
Is it unprofessional to cry because you don't know the victim or the alleged victim? Is that unprofessional? She's too emotional? Stay woke. What's the truth to all this? Do you all think it's unprofessional for a stranger to cry over another stranger? Well, I've cried up here. I've cried up here about Sebastian. I've cried about Summer Wells. I don't know them. Never met them personally. Child's a child. Not here to take up for them, but I'm just asking the question. Is it unprofessional to cry over somebody you don't know? What's the truth to these allegations against her? I don't know that either.
You know, had a couple red flags go up that I just thought was odd behavior for somebody that's supposed to be professional. But yeah, and then I guess it was exposed this morning that she's kind of following Jules to different YouTube interviews, and I did see that people people asked her in the live this morning, I guess, to show her dogs, and she made up an excuse, and then she posted pictures of them, and they're all very unprofessional names. They're like names of alcohol drinks, which is kind of unprofessional if you're going to have a K-9 handling business.
But did she never went.
So is that unprofessional to have K-9s named after alcoholic beverages, mixed drinks? I don't know. What say you, the chat? Do you see how this is going? This is the point I'm trying to make. This is how sick these true crime cases get. That's why I don't want anyone calling me a web sleuth. I'm not a web sleuth. I talk about true crime. I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. This is not a true crime channel. Today I talk about puffy cones. Tomorrow I might talk about abortions. I don't want to be in a category of true crime. This is why. Because I'm a very diverse individual, and my topics range from A to Z. You're never just going to see true crime all the time. It's a lot of my headline videos, but I really would prefer to talk about other things than dead people and missing people. And this is the reason why, because one, it's depressing. Two, it's long-winded. It goes on and on and on. And then you get this type of shit here, all this he said, she said, and it bores me. Because I don't want to spend all my time on YouTube watching other people's channels to hear gossip. I don't want to be on Facebook listening to gossip. That's just, to me, a waste of fucking time. For me, all that Facebook hopping and shit, that's for people who don't want to do nothing with their time. They want to sit at home all day, eat, pop potato chips, popcorn, and look at YouTube videos and go round and round and round on Facebook and then come back. Well, let me tell you what they said over here. Let me tell you what they said. That's all I ever hear with true crime. It's the same in every case. Even with that Micah case. She killed herself. She didn't kill herself. Oh, let me tell you what the husband said. Oh, let me tell you what the husband did. You know, videos of him now all on the ground crying and whimpering. See, nonsense. Because 9 times out of 10, there's something wrong with that fucking man. Now they're talking about the eulogy he gave for his wife. See, it just goes on and on and on and on. And I just don't want to indulge my private time just sitting up endlessly looking at Facebook posts. Sitting through fucking 8-hour lives to decide if what this person is saying is the truth or not. It's too much to deal with. You don't even listen at your friends talk for 8 hours straight, 5 hours straight. Who listens to somebody cry and moan about their life for 5 hours? Oh, he won't change, he won't act right. Oh, I love him, I don't know what's wrong with him. And you're looking at your clock. Damn, we're on 5 hours, you're still talking. Well, that's how I feel about these lives, and that's how I feel about this Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook reading endless bullshit. I did it earlier just to see what's being said, on the Facebook page. Any updates? Nothing. Just a bunch of people giving out their theories. When Mr. Mathis is going to be speaking, and this nonsense with these damn K-9 handlers. So we've gone from the parents to grandparents to the Proudfoots talking shit, arguing back and forth with Seth, PIs on, PIs off, to now arguing dog handlers. Are you serious? This is ridiculous.
To the Rogers, the actual house, or did she?
I don't think so.
And so either. I don't
And
think
the theory that's been floated out there, which I don't believe, because Chris Proudfoot is such an egomaniac. He wouldn't want any bad information out there about him. But people are kind of speculating, oh, the Proudfoots put her up to it. So when it's confirmed that she's a fraud, it will make it look like all the other information that's being put, negative information that's being put out there about them is also untrue, which I'm not buying that because he's too concerned with his reputation and what people think of him. He's not going to want that out there too. So she's just another sicko, it sounds like, that's trying to gain clout and attention off of the back of a missing child, which is...
All right. That's from Case and Crimes. Oh, Lord. What is to become of this case? So terrible. And somebody says, the crying on multiple channels is what immediately made me question her. A professional wouldn't be that emotional on a live platform, and then how creepy she was towards CJ and how much she loves him and wants to work with him next time. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Lord have mercy. Everybody needs to get a damn grip. Now, this Tracy Lynn has commented. For anyone wondering if Seth would need court order to retrieve CPS records, etc., according to Tennessee law, he would not need a court order. He would have to speak to DCS legal counsel, etc., but that is it. He is entitled to his son's records according to this without any court proceedings, etc. So before this back and forth gets carried away, here's the law for CPS records. So they've got it uploaded to this network pertaining to receiving court records and so on and so forth. It's too fine print for me to pull up, but it's from the state of Tennessee allegedly. Oh my God, the things that people do. Everybody wants to be Captain Saberho. I've never seen anything like her. Somebody says, forgive me, I literally took a 24-hour break from Sebastian's case. While I do believe the focus needs to solely be on Sebastian, can someone give me a rundown of what happened? Steph, the K-9 handler, the last I heard of her was on T-Rev's channel. T-Rev the other night, I'm hearing she's a fraud. What is the blank going on here? Just seriously. Oh, Lord. Somebody says, you're not allowed to take a break. You will miss all the drama, laugh out loud. Yeah, I guess so. What else are these heathens talking about? I sure did. I honestly just can't grasp this. I apologize. I did ask on another post, but I did not get the answer as of yet. Does this woman even have dogs? Did her and her husband actually go to Tennessee? Oh my God, this is so crazy. What a mess. Somebody says, no, her whole story was fake. So, Stephanie, you didn't come to Tennessee with the dogs? Then the person replies again, crazy. I don't know why, but this blows my mind. Shame on her. TBH, if she was comfortably fabricating a story like this, imagine what she is capable of. Oh, Lord. Somebody says to go over to J for Justice. She had the interview with them, and Jules Valenti has posted. You can find that on her page. I also put a video out just to support her. Let's see if this is the same content. Hold on.
All right, you just got a flower. So one thing we need to clear up, and appreciate you giving me your platform, Chase. We have, you guys kept asking me questions about all this dog drama, dog search, K-9 search, and honestly, I didn't know anything about that. That's what I told you guys. I don't get involved in all that, but it got to the point, to you guys' point earlier, that people started attacking and confusing our K-9 handler Jules with some wannabe dog handler Stephanie or whatever. First off, whoever Stephanie is, go sit down and let the adults work. You know, I don't know what you're doing trying to be a dog handler. You know, you're calling in on shows after Jules is, and you know, sending pictures of your dogs. You don't even get their names right. The images you're sending in of your dogs have been reverse Google image search, and they actually came from like Chewy. They're Chewy images. So I mean, this
will
is
stop
crazy,
right there.
and highly disrespectful because
So basically, this is no different than the photo uploaded of Sebastian that ended up being another woman and her son in a picture. AI generated fake stuff, stuff taken from other sites of people's dogs, pets, monkeys, giraffes. This is what I'm talking about. You don't know people. I keep saying that. If the people in the story have secrets, have abused people, children, spouses, whomever the story is about, why would you think that the outside people coming in, that they would not be similar in nature? And I think a lot of you don't realize that. You jump on board thinking somebody's coming to help, get the story out, but they're just as worse as the people in the story. And that's what you have here. Now you have somebody talking bad about this Stephanie person as a fraudulent person claiming to be a dog handler, she and her husband. I don't know what's the truth because I haven't been following any content pertaining to dog handlers. Just reading it now is baffling to me because it's like, how are we now on to fake fraudulent dog handlers? How do we go from all of this? This is bad. I'm trying to find Miss Valente's information. She was speaking about how upset she was. Wow, somebody got a picture posted here of Katie and Chris. They look, this is when Sebastian was younger. Somebody says, this has always been my favorite picture of Sebastian. A picture says 1,000 words. Look at the child's smile. He was so happy. This child is loved so much. Shauna Lay Gramco, whoever you are. Yeah, he's in a picture with people who possibly murdered him. Jesus Christ, get a grip. Yeah. It's just a photograph. That's what you need to understand. Doesn't mean he was happy all the time. That's what people don't understand about photographs. He's very young. And Tony's going to start going live on a TikTok platform, Sebastians.army, if you want to watch. All right, this is from Jules Valente. This is the woman who Mr. Tony Mathis has been speaking of as the actual dog handler that they are working with on Sebastian's case. This was uploaded 23 hours ago. I know people keep telling me to keep my head up and to keep pushing forward. Mods, I please ask that this is not deleted, gets deleted. And I don't mind if it is shared to other groups at all. It is Mother's Day, and instead of just having a peaceful lunch with my mom and family, my anxiety has been high because I feel as though I have to keep defending myself. I can't just let this go away. I'm a military officer. This stuff gets around, and the last thing I need is headlines saying, oh God, this is so long. Army captain and dog handler, blah, blah, blah. I don't work in a career field where I can just let it go. A lot of people are confusing me with Steph, commenting on various videos I have spoken on or outright sending me hurtful messages on Twitter, X, Facebook, or Instagram. I am also getting a lot of spite and criticisms for not catching that she was a foe earlier. Firstly, I have never had someone lie to me about that, and female handlers are rare, and she tricked me and gaslighted me and several other people. She was interviewed by a lot of people who also believed her. I just never thought someone would have the audacity to lie about that. Yes, I cried today. A lot. And people tell me, you're in the army, buck up. Let me tell you, it is easy to handle a crisis in the heat of battle, or when there is a mob coming at you in your organization. But when it comes to matters of the heart, I can't help it. I break. My heart and my love for my canines is huge. I am unable to have kids medically. My canines are my kids. I'm a human. So yes, I cry. I was very upfront about proving myself. The only people I really need to prove myself to from the get-go were Seth, Katie, Chris, TPI, SCSO. And I did that. They all know my certifications and qualifications. People had questions for me in regards to the scent detection, and I began to answer them online. I love this and could talk it all day. It's my life. You can see my love for my canines in my photos. Don't believe me, my IG is Marley the Maligator. I never ever, nor was I ever asked Seth, Chris, or Katie for a single penny for my services. I was volunteering my time happily, capital letters. I want to bring this boy home. I want to reunite him with his family more than anything. Well, you might need to rethink that, sweetheart. I'm respectfully asking people to please stop trolling my posts or IG photos. I do have other agencies and clients I work with, and I do not need them seeing, oh Lord, spam all over my page of hate and spite. Please stop saying I'm allegedly in the U.S. Army. I mean, are you kidding me? If you have any questions in regards to K-9 searches, please send me a message. Don't speculate. I'm very real and I'm legit. Please pass on that Seth is the fake handler and not me. Yes, I will still aid in finding Sebastian. That will not go away. Yes, I will bring 2 of my K-9s, Aura and Gator. They're multi-purpose K-9s. So people saying, oh, the sin is going for a track. There are other things that are trained to find. Gator, narcotics including pharmaceuticals, evidence, article, patrol, tracking. Aura, HRD, electronics, lithium batteries, patrol. But I ask that everyone respect me and give me the day or two I need to clear my head and recenter myself. This has been beyond hurtful and I can take some bullying, but some people online are horrendous. Please respect me and my canines. All I want to do is to help. And to the people who say, well, there was X amount of dogs already, that is great. But Sebastian still is not home. That's the end message. I'm not saying my canines are perfect, and neither am I. But what if, capital letters, what if, capital letters, an outside perspective organization could pick up on something different? In my eyes, it can't hurt. Also, Tony Mathis, I'm not sure if I have the right number for you, but I'm available tomorrow to discuss all this PR cleanup. I feel as though if the record is set straight, people will go back to searching for Sebastian and wasting time looking into these rabbit holes. Much love to you all, Jules, K-9 Gator, and K-9 Aura. In that photograph, you will see her with one of her dogs, allegedly her dogs, because you know everything's alleged, and she has blonde hair. So who was the lady with the brown hair talking about her K-9s? Is that the Stephanie lady that spoke to the news? So she's the fraud? And she was the one giving all her credentials about what she had? Or am I just mixing the women up? I'm confused. Jesus Christ. Angela Rachel replies a day ago on the same page. Could this be a case of corruption from the inside? I hope not. If he's friends with LE that are working on the case needs to be investigated through a different LE team that is not biased and has zero connection with anybody. Very good question. Because yes, that was mentioned. Was it not when all that mess was going on with Nina? Ellie and Christopher Proudfoot. Is there corruption? Is there somebody being biased on the case? I am not going to read any more content during this live stream because I'm almost at 2 hours and I'm tired of talking. Because this case has become a mockery of an autistic child, whether high functioning or not, he's still a child. And as I said before, it's more to this case than about autism. He's a child and a child of God. And I don't know what is going on with this case. Hello, everybody in the chat. I wasn't trying to ignore you all, but I was reading these posts. This case is similar to Summer Wells because it's out of hand with the people getting involved in the case. This is why a lot of you don't understand why I don't like talking about other people that get involved in the case. This is why. Because I've had a similar experience with somebody who was involved with the Summer Wells case. And they were working with the case to help the Wells, he was in cahoots with Mr. Wells, and also he was mainly helping Boy H. For those of you who followed the case and remember all the shenanigans that went down with the Summer Wells case. Well, sadly, Queen got involved with him through the advocate for a case that I was working on of a missing Deshina Cow. Those of you who follow my network, you know and remember a few years ago, a black girl was missing, a young girl was missing here in East Tennessee. She was later found dead in a toolbox under an abandoned house. Okay, I met a Caucasian lady who was the advocate for that case in the beginning. After meeting her, there was some drama with her and this other person who was working in the Summer Wells case and the Boy H shenanigans. And what I learned in that situation is you don't know people. You're taking people at face value, and then as you start talking to them, you realize these motherfuckers are just as crazy as the fucking Wells and every fucking body else jumping out of hats, clown cars. I was baffled. I got people in my messenger talking crazy about this one, that one, making up stuff about the other one. And it's like, well, you just introduced me to this guy. Why are you passing this fake information about him? Then he gets wind of it because I show him the picture foolishly to say, hey, what's going on? Next thing I know, he's talking crazy to me. Well, tell me what she said, and I'm suing her in an order to desist, blah, blah, blah. And I thought you were my friend. I said, hold up, let me tell you something. I don't have time for this. I said, I have a public platform and I talk about various topics. I am not trying to get wrapped up in all this hee-haw ass shit. Maybe this is how you all get down. I do not. Whatever personal problems you have with her, it's not my problem. Because one, I met her because I was friends with the family of the missing girl. And that's how I met her. Then she introduced me to you, vice versa. And I also let that person come up on my platform, this crazy ass nut. Both of them were crazy because she was passing fake information about him, derogatory information that I don't really want to, repeat what it was. But the point is, she's sending me crazy stuff in my messenger about him, shit that wasn't factual. Picture information was all of another human being. I told her this doesn't look factual and right, basically letting her know she needs to seek some mental help. Because she had just had a baby, so I didn't know if she was going through postpartum, what her problem was. So I relayed this information to him because I thought he had a right to know. Then he flips out and wigs out, want me to get involved. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting involved with no lawyers. I'm not getting involved with nothing. I'm just letting you know perhaps the woman is ill, mentally ill, and the best thing you could do is just leave her alone. Why you just can't move on from that? Why you got to go get lawyers and all of that? That's what I didn't understand. Now, if she was up here on public platforms, Facebook, and she was spreading the rumors around, that'd be different. Then I can see you saying, okay, let me get a lawyer because I have a legitimate business and helping, missing kids, blah, blah, blah. But from my understanding, she didn't do that. So why do you want to make it worse by getting a lawyer? And then you want to try to put the queen in the mix, and then you want to try to talk crazy to the queen. Y'all know me. I don't fear no fucking body. You are not getting ready to threaten me and tell me what I need to do and not do. Oh, you better tell me what she said and screenshot me the message she sent. I said, I will not. I told you what she said, and we're going to leave it at that. Because ain't nobody getting ready to subpoena Queen for no deposition or no fucking court hearing on some fucking gossip. I said, it's not true what she's saying. And I'm looking at the photograph of the content she sent me, and it don't match your profile and who you are. So she obviously is having a mental breakdown. Why you just can't accept the woman that's having mental problems, cut her off, and leave it alone. All you have to do is send her a message and say, hey, I know that you are saying these things about me, passing this fake information. I don't appreciate it. I trusted you. I got in cahoots with you to help with this Summer Wells case and other cases. I don't appreciate what you've done. If you further say anything negative about me, I will follow legal action. That's all you have to say and keep it moving. And I told him that. That's all you got to do. Cut her off, cut ties, block your numbers, block her on Messenger, keep it moving. And then if you see something negative, she's still saying stuff, okay, then you do what you got to do. But what you want to put Queen in it for? Don't put me in nothing. This is why I sit home minding my own business, taking care of my granddaughter and husband with cancer. Yeah, that's what I want everybody to understand about these cases. It's dangerous to get involved in these true crime cases because that's the thing that a lot of you really don't understand. You all be bar hopping from channel to channel, Facebook posts, Reddit, X, you giving your opinion with your government name, and you don't know how this shit can follow your ass around. That's why we was telling you years ago with the West case, stop using your government name in the chat. Because you don't know how this shit can follow you. People follow you when you comment. They go find you in Messenger. And then next thing you know, they're stalking you and saying ugly things. And then you got your whole fucking life up there on Facebook. Where you work and if you're married, if you're single. You got to stop doing that. Because people are not level-headed out here. They're not rap tight. So if you want to find out how ugly this shit can get, keep posting with your government name. That's all I'm going to tell you. Now you see where this case is gone. It's just Summer Wells repeat. Gossip from the parents. Gossip from the parents' relatives. Grandma Rogers. Dog handlers going back and forth. PIs on, PIs off. Spokesperson who got heat because of his past criminal record or whatever. It's out of control. And it's sad because the focus is not about Sebastian. You're getting rumors from Christopher Proudfoot. You don't know what's the truth or not. One thing that's been confirmed is about the diaper wearing because Seth has mentioned allegedly he didn't want him wearing them at his house. So that's been proven. But everything else is rhetoric. And this is why you have to be careful what you put out on Facebook posts. Because once you put it out, you can't take it back. You can delete it, but somebody has seen it and somebody's taken a screenshot. Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot, you're being judged right now by many people because you don't seem in tune to the child. You don't seem to care for the child. We're getting allegations of abuse, CPS, your past with Nina. Past, you have had a lot of marriages, which is a bad, bad, bad look. Allegations from Katie against Seth for abuse. He said they're unfounded. I need a receipt. Because what's going to be bad is if we find out that Seth has a temper as well. That he was abusive to her and the boy child. And it was just like with the Proudfoots. It was unfounded. So they're really tit for tat in the CPS shuffle. And the one thing we've learned with child abuse and neglect, just because CPS doesn't find abuse does not mean it did not exist. Stay woke. So all the time, a lot of us have been rooting for Seth. Maybe Seth isn't who we think he is. Because if it is proven that he was having sex with a 14-year-old kid, no way I can look at him the same fucking way. Because a pedophile can't judge another pedophile. And wouldn't that be ironic? He's judging her for neglect of the boy when he was a kid and having the wrong kind of people around him when he was a pedophile and is a pedophile. Let me say is, not was. He has a penchant for young girls. I don't know. But that's the reason why it should have never been repeated that he met her at 14, because then people's minds start to wonder. Well, if you met her at 14 and the next thing you know, you're dating her at 18 and she's pregnant, people are going to just assume, well, maybe he was messing with her when she was underage. It doesn't mean that it's true, but that's the mindset of people. Their minds start to wonder. They start to assume. Yes, the Jerry Springer Show, exactly. So is that what is happening? You're taking the words out of context and assuming he messed around with Katie when she was underage just because he knew her. So that's why I asked the question, Mr. Rogers, how did you know her? How did you meet her? What was your relationship with her when you met her? Was friends of friends, family members? You know her family members? What? Because it's going to be really sad to find out you did mess around with her as a child. I'm not here to say that you did. I'm just saying that's what's being said. Now, if I don't hear it out the person's mouth, I don't put my stamp on it. This is why I keep saying you have to be careful what you repeat. 2 pregnancies. What happened to the other child? How far along was she pregnant? 6 weeks? 3 months? 4 months? 6 months? What? During this live stream, you will hear all of the analogies, conspiracies pertaining to this case that I could think of and have heard. And I'm sure there's some left out besides UFOs and Martians taking the child. But the one question I've not heard anyone talking about on YouTube, if this was a child prank by students at his school, could it be he was lured out by some students to play a dirty game with an autistic kid? Could it be he pissed somebody off at school? They wanted to get back at him, didn't like him, just a dirty kid. He left out the house to meet these kids thinking he was going to have some fun with friends, and he met an accidental or deliberate death. The flip side of that is, what's wrong with the parents? You have no involvement in the child's disappearance. Why do you act so guilty? Why do you act so guilty? Will you all be checking into the Pascal show tonight to see what Mr. Tony Mathis has to say? I may try to watch it, but I'm just going to be truthful with you. I'm tired of this gossip. I'm tired of this he said, she said. We're going from one extreme to the other. Everything right now has jumped from Sebastian missing to the parents, to them gossiping, to the Katie not talking, to now the grandmother jumping on, dog handlers not being legitimate. Where the fuck else can this go? Well, I don't think the parents will get no kids to do that when they can just do it themselves. That's my opinion. Was the child lured out of the house by schoolmates? Was he talking to children and the parents had no idea? Have you all been looking in the wrong direction in this case, including myself? Are the Proudfoots guilty of harming the child, disposing of the child? Could it be Seth lured the child out of the house? Bingo card. Is this the reason why he's been playing dumb during interviews and don't know anything? That he knows more than he is saying? Could it be just that? The Proudfoots have nothing to do with this case. They just didn't give a fuck about him. But he was lured out by schoolmates and or lured out by his father. Could this be a dirty game by Seth Rogers? I want to get Katie back. Get Christopher back. They've been abusing my kid and they don't think I know. I've got my child hid out somewhere. Nice, neatly tucked away. He's in good hands. But then you got to ask that question. Who would go along with hiding him out? People do it all the time, though. People go on the run. People go underground with their children. Because just when you think you've got the case solved, bingo card, something pops up to say you had it wrong. And we've had a few law enforcement agents or officials say this on News Nation and news programs, that they have seen people who seem guilty, didn't care about the children in appearance, but they were not involved in the crime. Is that what we're seeing here? The Proudfoots just weren't great parents, but they are not the culprits. They were not in tune. Possibly they're not involved, but they didn't care for the child either. What's the truth? I want to thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Join me later for Your Crazy America. This is a new segment on the Vault XL where I bring you crazy stories of shit that people are doing in America that is outlandish, bizarre, barbaric in behavior. Not necessarily murder or mayhem, but it's outright foolishness. Just bad, rank behavior. Stay tuned to that segment. Movie of the week, Gossip to Die For, now free on the Tubi app. Very good movie. And what is next in this case? Who is next to jump out of a clown car, drone, or helicopter with gossip? Because nothing seems to be verified in this case. What is the next he said, she said? What is the next information that's actually factual? Will this man, Mr. Seth, reveal actual information from a CPS report pertaining to his child? Will there be any repercussions for anybody that dropped the ball in this case from the CPS office in their jurisdiction? Because if he's missing, actually deceased, somebody needs to stand account for a child being dead and there was an investigation into child abuse, child neglect. And what will be the response from Mr. Rogers pertaining to his child, his mother saying she knew that the child was abused, but she didn't want to break trust? Did he know about that conversation between his mother and child? Will he own it? And will he also be ready to get the feedback for not doing the due diligence to protect his child? Do you all believe he has protected his child? I've asked that question as well on my polls. Please take the polls on my community page. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Help this content go viral. Please check out Mr. AD's channel. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Beganji, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome our new subscribers and viewers. This is a dirty case. And sadly, this case is similar to Summer Wells. And before I go, let's hear from the infamous Candace Bly Wells. Thank you for joining me. Candace has something she'd like to say pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. Lord have mercy. The dead hasn't risen. AB has just uploaded a video. Interviews look much different. Retro of learning and reports of Sebastian. I'll have to watch that to see the latest bullshit. Because it's never ending with these people. It just doesn't stop. Oh, Lord. God help us all.
Wells had a few things. YouTubers gets involved because they see these cases and something about these little missing children touches their hearts, just like me. Do you know how many people? Do you know
This is somebody else's channel. Trying to get more information.
Candace?
She's talking about Candace.
Sebastian Rogers' case.
So Candace basically saying she wished people wouldn't accuse other people of crimes. Well, you can speak from experience, can you not, Candace Block? Because a lot of us believe that you and Donald Wells are complicit to the disappearance and discarment of Summer Wells. Next month will mark 3 years that the child went missing out of Robertsville, Tennessee, and nobody has brought us an update in a year or so. Why not? And now you have the audacity to chime in on the Sebastian Rogers case. Of course. They did it to me. I know what it's like. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you. I know what it's like. Katie Proudfoot, Christopher Proudfoot. They called us everything but the child of God. We were none of us about stinking hillbillies out of the holler. We're just some old evil ass rednecks. Hell yeah. Ditto. You never cared for your girl child. We saw how you lived in the holler, ma'am, sir. Despicable. Even the poorest of people don't live like that. And your husband had a viable job, so there was no need for your house to look the way it looked. I don't care if it's a trailer, a barn. There was no reason for you all to be living the way you were living. And the fact that you never got your 3 boys back tells the story. You didn't fight for them because you never fought for Summer Wells. It's a package deal. Stay woke. And all the theories that you all come up with, it didn't even matter because they never got the 3 boys back because the children were irrelevant. These 2 have lost a lot of children amongst themselves even when they didn't even know each other and weren't even married. That tells the story. And then they met. 6 degrees of separation. 2 people met, crossed paths, and repeated the cycle again. So what are you missing about the story? Nothing. Because the proof is in the pudding. You've left your blueprint in different states that you are unworthy and unfit to raise children. You're evenly yoked in mischief and mayhem. So you can make all the YouTube videos and Facebook posts you want and cry to Allah, Jesus, Noah, Job. You are what you are. Unfit. And that's the spoken word. And so you have no reason to talk about Sebastian Rogers or any other missing child in America because you didn't provide proper care for your own children. And even when they got gone, you still will not even abide by the criteria to get your boys back. Instead, you want to sit up in front of YouTube with no fucking teeth and drinking out of a slap jar and smoking cigarettes as if you've done something. I would be ashamed to sit in front of a camera talking to people knowing I'm the cause of my child and my children gone. And if you kill the kid, you definitely don't have any reason to be talking about a missing child out of West Tennessee or anywhere else for that matter. You're a fraud. And your behavior is similar to the Proudfoots. Boisterous, loud, ignorant. And they say that about people who just can't stop talking. Gotta be loud and tell everybody their business, how they feel, because they got something to prove. Walk away. You didn't do anything. Just walk away. Let law enforcement handle it. Is that right, Candace? Why didn't you give Donald Wells that advice? Checkmate. Because he's the orchestrator, the head knocker. But now he's getting too old and tired to battle with YouTubers. He just said, fuck it, I'm done. Tired of arguing with them. Thank you. So maybe Mr. Proudfoot will take a lesson out of Mr. Wells' book. Let it go. We're tired of hearing you because you're not saying anything. And frankly, you're only making the case worse for yourself, because at night we can go to bed and sleep good knowing we don't have anybody investigating us for the disappearance of a 15-year-old autistic child. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Well, that was your choice to make it look bad. All Tennesseans are not the same. All Tennesseans aren't trash. All Tennesseans aren't racist. And all Tennesseans don't live like that. This is a great state to live in. As you see, many people are moving here because they don't want to live in New York, California, Arizona, Florida. It's too expensive. That's why our rent is high now. Because Tennessee is the new hot spot to live in America. Oh, you didn't know? Do your homework. You all love Google. Well, Google it. Nashville is the hot spot. Then Middle Tennessee, now East Tennessee. We are the hottest thing on the block. Every day somebody has moved here from Texas, New York, Michigan, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, California. We are the chosen one. But sadly, we have evildoers here. And they like abusing kids and unaliving children. Because that's the point. People are people. There are bad people everywhere. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back a little bit later with more stimulating content and a news segment on the vault called Your Crazy America. We will chop up the latest crazy nonsense of DoorDash drivers, bad passengers, bad customers, and the nonsense that goes on every day. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you all.